When do you think AI was invented?
When do I think it was invented?
Oh God.
2020 maybe?
2015?
Like in the 70s or something.
1960s or something?
Around 2017.
Maybe like 2000. I would say 2000.
Although the first neural network was made in the 1940s, and in 1950 Alan Turing asked the question, what if machines could think? It wasn't until a conference in 1956 at Dartmouth where researchers started to ask the question if machines could behave like humans.
I mean, it has gone through many phases. It's been around for a while.
Fast forward to 1966, and Eliza, a pre-programmed chatbot, made it to the public.
Eliza simulates the sort of conversation that you might have with a psychiatrist. Pretend that you have some psychiatric problem. Type it in and see what happens.
What if you had a perfectly natural dialogue with a computer? Wouldn't that be like talking to another human being?
If you could have a perfectly natural dialogue, it's a very big if.
Despite the initial enthusiasm, the first AI systems were actually not that intelligent. Computers were still too slow and data was scarce. As a result, the 1970s saw the AI winter. But in the 80s, expert systems started to emerge, and by the middle of the decade, they had made their way across the US and around the world.
Now, if you've been thinking about buying a home computer for the holidays, you are not alone. Nearly half of the computers that will be sold this year are going to be sold during this season.
People see computers as being like a freight train, and it's either going to run past them and they feel like they have to climb on, or they feel like the train's going to run them down.
The rest of the decade saw an explosion of students studying computer science and companies adopting the technology. This new interest led to the next breakthrough in 1997, when Deep Blue, a system from IBM, was able to defeat the world chess champion, Garry Kasparov. Kasparov actually accused IBM of cheating because Deep Blue made a move so unpredictable he thought it must be human. IBM continued to double down on intelligence, and in 2011, Watson, an AI designed to understand natural language, went head-to-head on Jeopardy and won.
Jeopardy, I think, it's one of those moments that really did put a spotlight on Watson and what we're capable of doing. It's just a really pivotal moment in our history and one we'll never forget.
The next big leap came in 2012. Although ImageNet had been around since 2009 as a way to classify images, it wasn't until AlexNet was able to reduce classification error by 40% that the research left the labs. This laid the foundation for GANs, generative adversarial networks, which are a precursor for a lot of generative AI, and the beginning of deepfakes, but also algorithms that power almost every smartphone and every smartphone camera.
And proving that artificial intelligence can outmaneuver human brainpower, Google's AlphaGo program has secured its 4th win over a South Korean Go grandmaster. The artificial intelligence computer program took part in 5 matches against one of the game's top players, Lee Sedol. Google asked him to play this ancient Chinese board game against their supercomputer in an attempt to identify the machine's weaknesses. It was designed to study old matches and make independent decisions.
The breakthrough with Go wasn't just that it was able to solve problems, but that it was also able to invent strategies. This idea of intuition led to an AI explosion and the rise of large language models, a completely new way of interfacing with the technology.
A company called OpenAI developed ChatGPT. It's essentially a chat interface to the large language model called GPT. It uses deep learning to simulate human-like conversations with users. The T in the GPT is called a transformer, and that's the key to making the whole thing seem human. It's trained on large amounts of data to guess what order words should come in. It looks at what it was trained to do and goes, well, usually when you have these number of words in order, the next word would be this one. And then it uses that training to generate responses to your query.
Fast forward to today, and even the most basic LLMs have the knowledge equivalent of over 150,000 books. There's an AI solution for almost everything, and new ways of interacting with the intelligence are arriving every day, including robots in every shape and size imaginable. Eliza has a new life as Eliza OS, incorporating blockchain technology, and companies of every size are allocating more and more funding to AI. Massive companies like ASML, previously unknown to the general global public, are also making headlines, specifically for their advanced machines for making computer chips. As AI demands more power, compute, and chips, ASML has become one of the most critical tech companies on Earth and created a new wave of competition. And as questions about energy use and compute demands begin to rise, other questions also emerge. One's not so tied to hardware, but about humanity.
One of the questions we have in front of us for our future society is who can actually make things with AI? Who decides how it's applied to benefit society?
Should you be scared it's going to put you out of a job?
Oh, I fear mainly my own job. It will replace my job, but
it can substitute many jobs in the future.
I think AI is a great tool. I think it's pretty cool. I use it a lot.
As a developer, it's very useful.
I use it every day.
Very useful.
It's useful as a tool.
Yeah, I think it's very valuable. It's just about how you use it.
I think it's really useful, but it has to be used carefully. So that's the point.
The current phase is really scary, like with Gen AI.
I think about iRobot and stuff.
It's kind of creepy, like how much it knows, like about you or about other things.
I think there has its potential to be positive and has the potential to be negative as far as like being used in the media and things like that.
I think it's like if it gets too progressive.
It's just like many of the worst nightmare scenarios.
It could like maybe take us over if we give it too much power.
But there are very good uses of AI.
AI can make content that you make or you want to learn something, make it adaptable for the person who wants to learn it.
What's a use case you think is good?
Oh, I don't know, for like genetics and medicine.
Helping people with becoming a better person or something, you know, when they are struggling with something.
These are skills that 21st century kids need to have.
So what do you, like first thing when you think about AI, what do you think?
School.
Creating images.
The last decade has seen a massive rise in AI technology use. Join us for the next episode where we dive deeper into one specific use case, generating visuals.